Hello, it's Dr. Darnise, and welcome back into another episode, another session of Dr. Darnise's House of Religion, Magic, and History. Hey, today we're talking about the Hoodoo Tarot Workbook. Did you know there is a workbook out, right? Root work, rituals, and divination. I hope that shows up for you. Um, it's a companion to the actual tarot deck, right? So many of you probably you've heard me talk about it on this channel, that there is a Hoodoo Tarot Deck, which I have. And so I am thrilled. This is my deck, right? And I have not used it as much as I use the traditional Rider-Waite deck. But I now have this workbook, and so I can go back into using my Hoodoo Tarot deck much more. I love that on the card itself. This is, you can see there's a key. This is a portion of the United States, right? We're looking at the outline of the South, of the American South, because that's where hoodoo really started, in the American South, as a tool of resistance and protection that African Americans created. Hoodoo is our own folk magical system that helped us survive, right? Given that though under those circumstances of enslavement, our primary objective was to survive, was to take care of ourselves, was to have some type of protection, right, against the onslaught of white supremacy and everything coming against us. So anyway, the point of this video, though, is to really just lift up the fact that there is a workbook, and y'all, we can go get this workbook and help us with our own tarot reading. And the reason I'm so big on tarot, I should just say also, is because it is a tool of divination for our spiritual awakening. It's not just, the tarot is not just tell me what's going to happen, or am I going to marry this person, or that kind of thing. No, that's only one level of looking at the tarot. The tarot as a form of divination is a tool to help us in our spiritual awakening. If you look at the major arcana, right, the Fool through the World card, it is the journey of the human through all of the different kinds of experiences that we have as humans when we remember that we are on a spiritual journey, right? Starting off as the Fool, which in the Hoodoo Tarot is the free man, right? The free man is walking away, right, from what might be a plantation, walking off. Finally got his freedom papers, and he's headed out. He's got something in his hand, right? So it's time to go, right? It's time to start, time to move on. And so the tarot itself is an invitation for our own path forward. So you really got to take on another deeper level of understanding of magical systems and forms of divination, right? Understand that this is not just a surface level. This is our awakening. Are you awakening? Are you on your spiritual path? Because if you are, then you can understand the forms of divination at a much deeper level, right? Then after the free man is Black Herman, which is the magician card, right? Black Herman is the magician to remind us about our own spiritual power. You have all the tools you need. Let's get it moving. Let's go, right? You have everything you need. And then number 2 is Miss Ida, aka the High Priestess, right? She reminds us to pray, to stay prayed up, and to use our intuition, right? So now in the Hoodoo Workbook, she gives us a lot of information on how to go deeper, right? But here she gives us some biblical verses. And this is interesting to me because a lot of us as African Americans, grew up Christian or certainly Christian affiliated. And so we understand that we mixed it together with Christianity. People were Christian, people went to church, and then they also went to the conjure doctor. They also went to the root worker. And they also read the Bible. And so the book of Psalms has always been a companion to hoodoo. The book of Psalms is a companion piece. So in her book here, she tells us the Hoodoo Tarot, Bible quotes, and why they were chosen. I don't know if you can see this because might be too much light. So she gives you the card, and then she gives you a scripture, right? The free man, she quotes John 8:32, and you will know the truth, and the truth will set you free. For Black Herman, the magician, Matthew 17:20. Truly I tell you, if you have faith as small as a mustard seed, you can say to this mountain, move from here to there, and it will move. Nothing will be impossible for you. Right? Remember, Black Herman is the magician card. So nothing will be impossible to you. If you have faith as small as a mustard seed, you can say to this mountain, move from here. So it's about you understanding your own personal power, right? And your belief system, having a very strong, grounded belief system. So she's given us here these scriptures because it reminds us of how we created hoodoo and used it alongside of the Bible, used it alongside of our understanding of this thing called Christianity. Let's see, the next one, Miss Ida, the card I showed Miss Ida as the High Priestess. Be still and know that I am God, from Psalm 46:10. Psalm 46:10. Be still and know that I am God, right? So what do you need for your journey? You need that internal connection to God, right? For your journey. And then she goes on, informed by the land, the influence of nature in the American South, and she gives these beautiful color cards of different herbs. So if you are, really somebody who collects herbs, if you grow herbs, if you have your own garden, you like to put together your own ingredients for your own root work, Tayanna Lee McQuillar gives you a lot of different herbs. This goes on for this extensively. There's several pages of where she is just giving us the herbs and what they're good for. The herbs and what they're good for. So, reinforces the idea of why African Americans created hoodoo. We use the herbs of the earth for our healing and our protection because we understood that there's a correspondence between the ingredient or the natural world and our spiritual evolution or our spirituality in general. And that therefore there's no real contradiction, right? It's not like, some people of course want to say, oh, that's whatever, evil and you shouldn't do it. This is the earth. It's the literal, it literally grows up out of the earth, right? And so how is it bad? How is it evil to use the roots and grasses and leaves for our healing and protection? When you are aware that we are spiritual beings having a human experience and that we are gifted with the magic, right? Knowing our power and our own intuition and our belief in God, then nothing is impossible. So anyway, I want to just come on here real quick and say, hey, get yourself the book. The Hoodoo Tarot Workbook. I am very enthusiastic about it, as you might be able to tell, and can't wait to do more with it. She gives also some sample readings, like how to do different spreads, how to read the spreads. So if you're trying to learn tarot, she gives you some good information on that as well. And I'm just going to say, join me on Patreon, support the channel. Over there, I am going deeper with some of these topics. So what will you find over there on Patreon? You will find that I'm uploading some more content. I'm going deeper on some subjects. I am inviting you to the deeper spiritual path. Because, one thing that I was always complaining about is where are our Black practitioners and teachers and leaders? And I said, well, I guess I got to do it. Not that I got it, like I don't want to, but I think of myself as more of a teacher a lot of times, and therefore I go into my lecture mode of teaching. But I really want to go deeper into the teachings as far as the practice. So on Patreon, I am for Patreon supporters. I am giving more of that. That is my intention to grow over on Patreon. So please support the channel. And, there are different tiers over there on Patreon. So, you can get in where you fit in. I appreciate you. At the very least, like, share, subscribe. And I will see you back here next time. Bye for now.